It's important that people understand that there is blessing that is tied to Israel. It's very clear throughout the whole Old Testament and into the New Testament that individuals and nations are both blessed when they bless Israel. But the opposite is true. When individuals and when nations curse Israel, and I've never seen the United States curse Israel quite like is being talked about today. When that happens, nations are cursed. Individuals are cursed. We have examples of it replete throughout all of history. If we have something so simple right in front of our eyes, why in the world would we embrace a concept that would hurt us individually but hurt us as a nation? The Bible is clear in the Old Testament. If you look at the prophet Joel in chapter 3, verse 2, it says very clearly that there will be a point when God will bring all nations down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and there he will judge the nations. And it's interesting, there's only one criteria upon which God judges the nations. It isn't on the economy, it isn't on the environment, there's only one, and it's how did the nation treat Israel? Did they bless or did they curse? And there's three very specific points. One is, did your nation divide the land of Israel? Did it divide it? That's what this is about today, keeping God's land. We want to be in agreement with what the Bible says that brings blessing to individuals and to nations. So we don't want to see the land of Israel divided. The second item is to scatter the people away from the land of Israel, because the Jewish people are God's chosen adopted people. They're there as a symbol and a guide for the rest of the world. And that's what was horrific to me, to see that the Biden administration was actually proposing removing at least 500,000 Jews out of the heartland, the biblical heartland of Israel, Judea, Samaria, where most of the Bible took place. The Biden administration is actually talking about Jews leaving. I was just in Samaria up by Mount Gerizim in December, and the Jewish communities there are thriving. And what's bizarre about all of this is the highest percentage of Israelis who have gone to fight in Gaza come from the Orthodox communities that are located in Samaria. And so isn't it ironic that the Biden administration is seeking to punish those people who literally laid everything on the line to keep God's land? I really truly believe that the Bible is true and that you do reap what you sow. The third area, if I could just finish that up in Joel chapter 3, is this: those who hinder the Jewish way of life, denigrate the Jewish way of life, prohibit the Jewish way of life, that's another way that individuals and nations will be judged. So it's important that we as a nation are in a posture of blessing, that we as individuals are in a posture of blessing. But then in the New Testament, and I'll be brief, Jesus says almost exactly what the prophet Joel wrote in chapter 3. Jesus says in Matthew 25, he's looking at the end times. He speaks about who are the least of these, and have you cared for the least of these? And that also hurts my heart right now, because I see the posture of the United States toward Israel. And we're threatening Israel. We're saying we're going to withhold ammunition, withhold weapons. We're putting pressure on Israel in an unnatural way, almost to force Israel to lose the war. That's what it looks like. We want you to lose the war. We want you to give up some of your land to Lebanon or to Syria. And we don't want you to fight so hard. And by the way, we want you to just flat out ceasefire. So it's a really troublesome time to me as a believer in the Bible. As I look at what the Bible says, I weep for my own nation. I don't want to see the United States of America because of these decisions, but people need to wake up and understand that the Bible isn't just a suggestion. It has proved true for all time. And as the ambassador rightly stated, this covenant is forever. There is no expiration date on it.